And we go over, Chad, we go over to the recall room, and Arnold's just like, I need to get to Mars. My mission. It's my mission. And he's fucking flipping out, doing all the odds you can imagine. They're trying to hold him down, but he's like, he's breaking out of the chat, hitting people, slapping people, and everything. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
But my friends, in case I missed you before, welcome. We're going to go ahead, Joe. We're going to go ahead and jump into this review chat for Total Recall, or some people call it Total Recall, which I'm like, I just talk Total Recall, not Recall. But, you know, to each their own. Whatever you want to say it, chat. You want to put some extra vowels in there. You want to add an accent to Total Recall. Be my guest. Be my guest. But, chat, before we go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details of this fine cinematic sci-fi dystopian picture, chat, I have to ask you a very, very important question. That question being, how many of you have seen the 1990 Total Recall, chat? Or Total Recall? However you prefer to say it. It's not wrong. Neither one is wrong. Neither one is wrong, chat. This is interesting to hear, like, in like the making of this movie, everyone calls it something different, which I think is very funny. Casve, long time ago, only remember some of it. Baby GTG, seen it. Noni Woman, here, present, good to see you. So I guess you haven't seen it. So you're shooting many times. I have the DVD. Nice. Chris Sears, of course. Hamilton Burger, I've seen clips and reviews. Divided Clay, see it? One of my all-time faves. Nice. You keep me on track then. You know what I'll miss. Total Recall. It could be that one. Axel, seen it tons of times. Tutor Rascal, very vague memory of it. Made GTG. I was like 7 or 8 when my uncle showed me. Whoa. It's a very violent movie for a 7 or 8-year-old. As you watched it earlier today, I'll keep you on task. There we go. Thank you, DT Dark. So good to see you, by the way. I recall, seen it 2 or 3 times. Nice, that's good. Sean, welcome to Stream Committee. I said I saw the reboot for this. Oh, damn, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Reboot's fucking rough. I'll tell you that. I believe I believe I recall seeing it. I see what you did there. Marlon Adventure, thank you for resubscribing. 6 months on a 6-month streak. Thank you. Damn, half a year already. Looking forward to making a whole year. Marlon, seriously, man, thank you so much for your support. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Hope you're doing well. Cheers and salute to you, my friend. You guys are the puns. A lot of puns tonight. No doubt about it. Well, so a lot of you have seen this movie, which is pretty cool, or at least are aware of it, have seen reviews of it, clips of it, probably iconic lines. You know, Schwarzenegger has said, "Get you ass to mas, you the party Richter." It's like, it's good, now the divorce, all that shit, obviously. Which is great, chat. Because this is a very iconic movie and based on an iconic piece of sci-fi literature, chat. We can remember it and remember it for you. How does it go? I think we can remember it for you. We can remember it for you wholesale. That's what it is. That's why they changed the title, because Chris Herman's not gonna be able to say that goddamn title of that fucking short story. We gotta change it to Total Recall because he's gonna do this review. Even though he's not alive yet, he is merely a twinkle in his father's eye. We can remember it for you wholesale. Way too long to say. Total Recall. It's easier to say it with me now, chat. Recall. There it is, chat. Now, what's interesting about this movie, or at least the property of Total Recall, chat, is that it languished in development hell for probably over a decade. Probably close to a decade, chat. And, you know, the big reason for this, one, is that it was with many producers and many filmmakers, and due to various situations and scenarios, they had to drop the project. You know, originally, it was picked up by the 2 screenwriters for Alien, chat, in 1979. Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett. They had great success of Alien, but no studio wanted to move on Total Recall just yet. It wasn't until Blade Runner had come out, I think, what, in 1981, 82? Which was, of course, an adaptation of Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, that people went, oh, okay. Even though the movie wasn't a big commercial success. It was not. It kind of got mixed reviews. This guy clearly has some good ideas, so let's go ahead and work on this film. And it languished for years, chat. It was with multiple filmmakers. Everyone like Dino De Laurentiis, chat, worked on it. Then his production company went kaput, and he had to abandon the project, chat. David Cronenberg was originally involved in the project and did multiple different drafts, chat, but then that went kaput. It wasn't until Paul Verhoeven, it was two people really. It was Paul Verhoeven and especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had read the script throughout the 80s, various drafts and and versions throughout the 80s, chat. And he wanted to make the movie, but his star hadn't risen to that point. He read initial drafts like before he even did the original Terminator, chat, in 1984. This is even before Conan. He wanted to make this movie, but no one believed in him, and no one believed that they could assign a budget to this kind of film without a big star, right? And then, of course, Arnold, he eventually started Conan the Barbarian, did Terminator, chat, did Predator, and we're like, okay, and a number of other films. Like, all right, now your star has risen, and now we can greenlight this picture. They got Paul Verhoeven, who only a few years before had amazing commercial and critical success with RoboCop, and he was the absolute best person to direct a movie like this. And you can tell because it is violent as all hell. I mean, there's amazing practical effects. People are exploding. There's a shit ton of blood squibs. This movie will make you appreciate a blood squib, chat. I don't like that CGI blood, but you got those little squibs in your and your chest just erupts in fake blood. I'm all about it, chat. People's eyes bugging out, tons bugging out, heads going, arms squishing. It's that kind of violence, and I appreciate it. Deadpool, thank you so much for the 10 minutes. Fun fact, Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah, it's true. I was about to get that. Was originally supposed to play the role of Quaid. The idea he would just be an average everyman who was really a badass spy than Swiss Army. The other person they were considering at the time, I think it was after Richard Dreyfuss. So this is when they had the Richard Dreyfuss version that was going to go forward with Dino De Laurentiis. That didn't happen, and I think Patrick Swayze. This is what it was. I think it was where Richard Dreyfuss had to drop out of the picture for whatever reason, and then Dino De Laurentiis went after Patrick Swayze, and they're going to start filming, but that's when he went bankrupt. He went Chapter 11, so they weren't able to do the picture, sadly. Listen, and I like the idea of like this everyman who was actually this super spy. Cool idea, but I also like what they do with Arnie because he is very much this everyman who's a super spy, but it makes sense though, because how the movie starts, he's this fucking muscle-bound, Austrian oak super soldier, chat, and he's a construction worker, but it's like, oh yeah, I could buy him as a super spy. Kinda hard to buy Richard Dreyfuss as a super spy, but I could buy Arnold. I could buy Arnold as a super spy. Patrick Swayze too, obviously Patrick Swayze. But at that time, Arnold was doing so many action films, of course. Patrick Swayze, did Roadhouse and Point Blank, obviously. But Arnold, he was the guy to go with, right? Thankfully, the movie was then went to the production. At the time, it was the most expensive movie ever made. Its budget has been estimated. It's funny. Wikipedia lists this as 50 to 60 million. I've read that it costs $90 million to make. So that budget's going back and forth. But obviously, it's a very expensive picture. Had a box office of about 261.3 million. Killed on VOD, chat, especially on VHS. It was one of the most popular VHSs of the early 90s, chat. And of course, it actually did pretty well critically. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it's somewhere in the 80s. But overall, critics did enjoy the film for, Arnold's very charismatic performance, for the set design, and for the special and practical effects, chat. And it's just one of those movies that I can just go back to every few years. I was like, I haven't watched this film in quite a long time. And, watching it again so recently, just, man, wow, it just made me really appreciate it. And just Paul Verhoeven and his directing style and his just balls to the wall, just I want to go as over the top and crazy as possible, but still have a really compelling story and characters that at least you like, they enjoy. No one gives a bad performance in this movie. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger's he's not the best actor in the world, but he's very charismatic, and he's one of the few people that can literally sell these lines. Shit, get your ass to Mars, consider this a divorce, seal the body licked. It's they're just funny, and he has that voice, and it just works so well. So it's kind of one of those classic 90s action films, Chef. It feels like a good in-between when we're making the transition from the 80s and the 90s, chat. And it's just made it perfect transitional movie, I think, for both decades. You can see the DNA from both decades in this film. So, huge fucking fan, Chad. Huge fan. And I'm glad to see he pulls this off. He does indeed. And I'm so glad. I have so many of you here who have watched this film. But now, my friends, let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details, chat. The year is 2084. Humanity has colonized the solar system, chat. Everything from fucking Saturn to Jupiter and Mars. And we see two lone figures, chat, walking across a Mars cliffside, chat, across a Mars mountain. And we see these two individuals, one of them very broad shouldered, very big, the Austrian oak himself, chat. Austria's favorite son, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's walking with an unknown woman, chat. Her name is actually Melina, but we don't know that yet. A beautiful brunette, as Arnold often says. And thank you, Xvar Gaming, for rescom 9 months. Oh boy, you just pushed out. You just front pooped out a Twitch baby. What is the name of our Twitch baby, Xvar Gaming? What's it gonna be? If you don't mind, I would like to name him Arnold in honor of tonight's review. But you get to pick. You get to pick, and you tell me later on. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Really do appreciate that, good sir. But we're following Arnold, and we're following this unknown brunette lady as they're walking across this cliffside on Mars, chat. And Arnold turns around to look at this lovely lady, and he can't really be intimate because they're wearing spacesuits and shit. They're in spacesuits, chat, because, you know, if you get sucked out, if you don't have the spacesuit, you go, it would be bad. And so he does kind of like a little head nod, like a little head boop, and he puts his arms, his giant Austrian arms on her, and goes, I love you, you're so nice, and yeah. And then they keep walking. But oh no, he misses his footing, chat, and he tumbles down the cliffside. She's like, no! He's like, this is where the whole idea of Arnold, or just, because every time we do like an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, we always go, this is the movie where it came from. Because that is, other than, you know, the various lines he says, you know, get your ass to Mars and see the party vector. He says that the most. And he falls down the cliff and boom, head immediately hits a rock, chat. Just boom, right into the faceplate. And he reels back, chat. And he is now in the void, the vacuum of space, chat, and he's imploding. He's like, and he's swelling up, chat, his big fucking neck, his eyes, his tongue. He's like, and then Arnold's gonna explode. But then we cut. He goes, and he wakes up, and he's in bed, chat. He's in bed, and he's super fucking buff and sexy, and very sweaty, chat. He's very sweaty. I mean, just the covers are coated. And then who sits up next to him, chat? Sharon Stone. Not the lady we saw on Mars, chat, Sharon Stone. And she's like, Arnold, are you okay? Oh, my God. And he's like, Sharon, I was dreaming again. She's like, about Mars, right? And he goes, yeah, it was crazy. She's like, was she there? He goes, yeah, she was there. She goes, why are you always dreaming about her? Okay, you're cheating on me. He's like, it was a dream, Sharon. I can't stop my brain from thinking about it. It's not, I love you. You're my wife. She goes, goddamn right you do. All right, yes, you do. And she starts like hitting him. He's like, why are you hitting me? Your little weak woman arms cannot penetrate my thick surface and exterior. She's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then they start like, you know, playing around in bed and stuff, and he starts pulling on her leg like, I come here. And then they have hot, sweaty Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sharon Stone sex chat, and it's great. Then it's later that morning, and Arnold is making just a medley of breakfast foods. You know, I always know this. I love the girl face, like, I just hitting his chest, like, I hate you. He's like, no, you don't. You like me. You love me because I'm very handsome, and I look at my body. It's so sexy. But then they have the hot sweaty sex to go back to bed. And then he wakes up later on, and he makes like a medley of various breakfast foods, chat. And it's that kind of thing in movies where apparently I don't know what it is, but the occupants of a home will basically take all the food out of their fridge in the morning and just make it. And like his entire countertop is covered in various food, chat. And he's making some kind of protein shake. I don't know. He's putting oats in it. You know, I mean, you need it for the Austrian oak. Am I right, chat? All sorts of things, strawberries and shit. So he must be having something, chat. He must be having some kind of protein shake. Glee, good to see you. 100 biddies. I don't know, at the height of his power. Pretty much. I mean, this was before he even did Terminator 2, chat. A year later, 1990, like, people used to say, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Glee, because, you know, Arnold, his career, you started to notice, went kind of downhill in the late 90s, and, you know, didn't really, I mean, that, you know, the 80s was his decade, obviously, and then the mid 90s, and then after that, kind of went downhill, you know. Nothing. I'm not remembering anything like a particular movie that was like, whoa, like a must-see Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in like the late '90s, maybe with the exception of Jingle All the Way, or or in the 2000s. And that's when he entered politics too. I think in the early 2000s at that point. So he left acting for a while. But this was Arnold in his prime. I mean, he was the highest paid star, I think, in the world at the time. I mean, Total Recall was the biggest budget movie of all time in 1990. And then next year he would do Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So it was fucking huge. Yeah, Mr. Freeze. Oh, of course, that was his magnum opus. Of course. I can buy Arnold because he needs kept. That's true. So he needs to eat all the food, all the breakfast. And his job, it makes sense for his job. He's a construction worker. And he's working that jackhammer chair. Just see that body bouncing. It's hot. But he's making a protein shake, and he turns on the news channel. It's all about the crazy shit that's happening on Mars. Apparently, there's been another terrorist attack from Quato's so-called freedom fighters. But thankfully, Cohagen's forces easily repelled the attack, and the damage was fixed in a few hours. Now, Sharon Stone sees this. She's like, just turn off the news. It's going to rot your brain, okay? He's like, I'm sorry, Sharon. I just really like Mars. And she goes, listen, I know you like Mars and stuff, but I think what we need right now, okay? I think what we need right now is a vacation. Not to Mars. Not to Mars. He's like, I want to go to Mars like really bad. And he's like, I know you do. But how about, but there's terrorists there, Arnold. See the terrorists? He's, I see them. I want to go. He's like, okay. And he's all about, like, I want to live on Mars. Let's go and live on Mars. And I'm like, fuck that. No. That place looks shitty. Absolutely not. But he, for whatever reason, he wants to go back. And she's like, how about we take a vacation? I hear Saturn is great this time of year. They got those Saturn cruises. And this is when she just fucking straddles him, chat, got her thick Sharon Stone thighs around the tree trunk body, the torso of one Arnold Schwarzenegger, chat, the Austrian oak. She's straddling him. She's like, all those hours alone in that cabin, we can have so much fun. And he's like, yeah, but Mars. He doesn't give a shit. And she's like, Jesus. And she gets off of him, and he turns it back on, and Cohagen, again, played by the great Ronnie Cox, chat, who should have been, what's his name from X-Men, chat, Senator Kelly from X-Men. It's like, this guy, he hates muties. Cohagen, chat, Ronnie Cox, he hates the fucking Mars muties. I'm like, oh, God, this is your modern Senator Kelly. So if I was rebooting X-Men shit, which they are in the MCU, fucking get that guy to play Senator Kelly. Get Ronnie Cox. Give him a nice big role. But fucking Ronnie Cox, chat, Senator Kelly, whatever his name you want to call him, Cohagen. He's going about, yeah, we repelled the forces of Quato. It'll only be a matter of time before we crush him and these terrorists, not freedom fighters. They're obviously terrorists, right? I mean, it's not like I'm holding off air from people. Not like I'm just hoarding air. Hail Scroob! He's literally, chat, Scroob from Spaceballs. That's the plot, is that Cohagen is hoarding air from the muties in, like, all the various mutie sections on Mars and giving it to all the sexy, beautiful, rich people. That's what it is, chat. He's like, I don't want no fucking air for these ugly muties, okay? That's the last thing they need. And so he's just hoarding all for himself. Arnold sees this, and, Sharon Stone's like, oh, just ignore that. Let's go on a vacation. I mean, all that time spent alone in that cabin, Arnold. He's like, I have to go to work. He's like, he does not want sex of her, and he just leaves. We also see, so you see a lot of product placement in this movie, but again, this was the most expensive movie ever made at the time. And it makes sense because we see all futurized versions of these, of these products. So like ESPN and Coca-Cola and Pepsi and stuff, and they kind of redo the logos. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. That didn't buy me. And again, it's a dystopian future, chat, much like RoboCop, where the corporations have taken over and they're abusing the muties and the poors. So it's like, I could dig this. I buy that for $1. I thought I'd see that guy there, but Arnold, he's going to work at this point. And what's cool is, they have a lot of great sets, and they filmed on location for like all the like I said, the first third of the movie. A lot of it, like the first 25 minutes, half hour in the movie takes place on Earth, and they filmed most of it in Mexico City, chat, because the reason why they went with Mexico City, other than being really cheap, the big reason is because Mexico City has this very dystopian looking architecture, and I think it's called New Brutalism, where it all looks very utilitarian, chat. It's all concrete, all steel, all gray, all granite. And fucking Paul Verhoeven's like, oh my God, this is perfect. Now, what's so interesting about this, the fact that they filmed in Mexico City, at the time, Mexico City was the most pollution-ridden city on the world. This is before, I think, like Shanghai and Beijing eventually took the crown from Mexico City. The air pollution was so bad there. The smog was so fucking bad that they have to have paramedics, multiple ambulances on set because people were just fucking dropping because they would be like inhaling this toxin in the air, this smoke, and it's like smoking cigarettes. And so they had to be taken to the hospital. Like Paul Verhoeven, he had his own personal ambulance because he's very his style of directing, he puts his entire body into it, Chad. He's very over exaggerated. Like he wants to get the performance out of the actor, much like his movies are so over exaggerated. And so he's moving around. Cause you ever see like behind the scenes footage of this film or his other movies? He's constantly moving around and acting out scenes of the actors. And when you're constantly fucking doing that, you're gonna fucking collapse. And so they had an ambulance for him. And apparently he lost like a shit ton of weight after making this movie, and he had breathing troubles afterwards too. So he put his fucking heart and soul and corporeal being into this movie. Arnold says everyone was a bunch of babies. I was fine. It was like, yeah, all right, Arnold. he was so tall he could stand above the smog, I suppose. But it's very interesting. So the first 25, 30 minutes, we see the Mexico City architecture. Arnold then goes to a subway station, which again, in Mexico City, the only thing they added to it, because it's just how it is, the only thing they changed was that they painted the subway cars gray. Gray granite color. Everything else is straight from Mexico City in 1990. I don't know if it looks different now, but that's how it looked in 1990, And he boards it, and he's sitting there with all these other fucking schlubs who are all miserable and hate their lives, and he sees this commercial come on, Chad, this guy who is like, I'm the Total Recall guy. Recall. Don't you hate having to pay for expensive vacations? Come join us at Recall. We'll give you the vacation of a lifetime. We can make you a fucking hero, a secret agent, a lustful playboy filled with women, and yeah, it's great. Come to Recall, and then a butterfly erupts from his hand, chat, and I was like, that looks fun. I like that guy. I want to go to Recall. And then he's at the job, chat, and this scene is just to show off Arnold's fucking physique because it's beautiful. Because he has this jackhammer, chat, and he's just like, it's like very sexualized, like just penetrating the earth with his Austrian oak, chat, his fucking arms just bouncing, the muscles. And they put him next to this one guy who's got like, clearly obese, big old pot belly, named Harry, chat. Fat Harry, balding, everything. And he's like, Harry goes, what do you want, Arnold? I have a question. Do you know anything about the Recall? Going on vacation, but not going on vacation. It's like going on vacation in your brain. And he's like, don't do it, Arnold. Don't do it. He's like, why? He says, the reason is because I had a buddy of mine. He went to one of them Recall places, fucked them up real good, ended up going crazy, went to the loony bin, okay? I'm telling you, Arnold, don't go there. They'll fuck you up, okay? Can't have that. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. Okay, I won't do it then. I won't do it. He's like, yeah, don't you doing it. Okay, don't do it. And he's just always watching him weird, Chad. I mean, I would watch Arnold too if I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But then, Chad, immediately after Arnold says, I won't go, he goes to the place. He goes to Recall, and we see a scene of the secretary showing off the special effects, chat, showing off that blue screen, baby. Changing her nail color, just a tap of a pen, goes from blue to red, then red to green later on. He's like, hello, pretty secretary lady. I would like to go inside and talk to the guy. I have an appointment. I want to go to Maz. And she's like, oh, yeah. No, my boss is coming out right now, and he'll talk to you. And so this guy, the Recall manager, chat, he comes out. He's like, oh, Mr. Quaid. So good to see you. He's like, hello. He's like, yeah, I heard about what you want to do. Come with me to my office. He's like, okay. And he sits Arnold down. He's like, so, where do you want to go again? I want to go to Mars. And he goes, okay, Mars. Yeah, Mars, listen. Mars is, Mars ain't that great, man. I mean, you got the it's dry, it's arid, it's sand, it's rough, coarse, and irritating. It gets everywhere. How about you go to one of our fucking Saturn cruises, man? That's what we can fucking do for you, all right? We'll upload that nice 2-week Saturn cruise, and you'll love it. He goes, no, that's not what I want. I want to go to Mars. It's like, okay. Deadpool, thank you for the 5 minutes. Harry's played by Robert Costanza, who's the voice actor for Harvey Bullock. Oh my God, that's him? I had no idea. Oh wow. Holy shit. Wow, it looks just like him. He looks just like Harvey Bullock. Well, if I ever do Harvey Bullock, I want him to fucking play him. I want to play like live action version. That's a goddamn shame. Robert Costanza looks almost exactly like Danny DeVito. I can see that. Oh, definitely. They could be brothers. That's nuts. That's nuts. Well, anyway, thank you for that piece of information. I knew Robert Costanza. I didn't know that was him playing Harry. Very cool. It sounds like him. Alan's like, no, I want to go to Mars. He's like, okay, gotcha. Okay, Mars. Okay. Sure, I can go to Mars. Yeah, no problem. Just, fill out this survey, and we'll make sure to give you just the trip you want. He's like, I don't need to fill out the survey. I want to go to Mars. He's like, okay, great, okay. Well, how about we send you to Mars, but we give you like a premiere experience? He's like, what do you mean? I just want to go. He goes, I understand that. But what if, instead of just going to Mars? Because, when you go on your vacation, you're just yourself. Just your ordinary, plain Jane, poor self. He's like, I'm not poor. I'm just saying, Arnold. Jesus, follow me for a second here. What if you were there, you going there, and you were like a millionaire tycoon? Or how about you were a rich playboy? Or what about a secret agent? That one, I want to be a secret agent on Mars. He goes, great, we'll load that one up for you, and we'll go. He's like, how much does that cost extra? Well, our typical packages, standard is $5.99, 600 credits. But, hey, man, make it a little cheaper for you. Instead of adding another 400, I'll dock 100 on it. So instead of paying extra 4, you only pay $2.99. How about that, man? 300 more credits. He goes, that's a good deal. It's like, hell yeah, let's get that thing up inside. He's like, good. And so they're loading Arnold up inside the recall machine. And Arnold's like a little nervous, and the machine's all around him. They strap down his fucking legs, his thick Austrian oak legs, forearms and shit. Have this nerdy guy that is like, oh, and Arnold's, the guy's like, oh, it's your first time? He's like, yeah, it's my first time. He goes, oh, don't worry. It's very rare for these things to fuck up. Like, I don't like the way he said that. We don't fuck this up most of the time. What do you mean most of the time? What does that mean? And then this lady comes in, this doctor nerd lady, she comes in. She's like, hello. And he's like, hello, Dr. Nerd Lady. And she's like, listen, we have the top secret agent special for you. Very good. How about aliens? We'll add some aliens to that. You like some aliens? He goes, okay, I guess aliens. It's all the rage right now with all our guests. And so she loads up all these images of aliens and alien architecture and things. He's like, oh, cool. And she goes, okay, well, I need to know a few very specific, intimate things about you, Arnold. What's your sexuality? He's like, I'm a heterosexual. She goes, great. What's your preferred type of lady? You have the class 4 ladies. That's our best class ladies. And he's like, I like brunettes. And this whole fucking screen comes up. DD Darkseid to me. Someone said that to me. I demand my money back and get the fuck out of there. Right? Right? That's what I would do. But the screen comes up. Good to see you, Ace Rock. Hope you're doing very well. Oh, don't worry. This thing works like 55% of the time. Oh, great. The rest of the time, just give you a very intense seizure. And mild insanity afterwards. A little bit of an after effect, side effect. Deadpool, thank you so much for the 5 biddies. The nerdy tech guy says in the scene, hey, Blue Sky, that's what I'm getting to, man. That's what I'm getting to. And so, so it's very, Paul Verhoeven is clever because there's other things happen in the background you might miss. And it's cool, and they distract you. He's very smart about this. And he says the best way to distract an audience is like with sexy ladies. And so Arnold is talking about the kind of lady he wants. They have the class 4 ladies, the best ladies they can get. Brunette. What kind of body type do you want? Do you want slim? Do you want athletic? Do you want voluptuous? And I was like, well, voluptuous. And he goes, athletic. And it's like, okay. They also put like some sleepy juice inside of his neck. He goes, a little sleepy juice, and he's falling asleep. And he's like, okay, well, how do you want her personality to be? He's like, I want her to be sleazy. And in the background, this one guy, he reads this file. That's the thing they're uploading to his head. And it says, Blue Skies on Mars. I never heard of that one. And so we'll wait till we get to the ending, chat, because this is a hotly contested movie. A lot of people theorize about different things in terms of the ending or just the overall film itself. And we'll talk about it in a bit. But keep that Blue Skies on Mars in the back of your brain, chat. But they load him up. And he falls asleep. She falls asleep. Meanwhile, we cut back to the manager, the floor manager of Recall. She's talking to a new client, trying to get her to buy this big package. Secretary comes in, and she's like, "Sir, we're having a problem right now. We need you to come." He's like, "It's okay. I'll have the nerds deal with it." And she goes, "No, sir, we need you here right now." And he's like, "All right, shit. Make sure she does not leave." And we go over, Chad. We go over to the recall room, and Arnold's just like, I need to get to Mars. My mission. It's my mission. And he's fucking flipping out, doing all the ahs you can imagine. They're trying to hold him down, but he's like, he's breaking out of it, shit, hitting people, slapping people, and everything. And the nerdy guy, they just take the fucking sleepy splooge gun, and they put so much sleepy splooge in the arm, but it doesn't take like one shot. It takes like 15 shots, so he's actually bleeding because he has so much sleepy splooge inside him. He's like, and they're like, holy fucking shit, holy shit, it happened again. And it's like he's had like a schizophrenic, attack or something. He rejected the memory. And the nerdy lady is like, no, that's not it, sir. She's like, you stupid bitch, how'd you do this? What'd you do? She goes, fuck, don't call me a stupid bitch. And the other guy comes, this is great. So like the manager insults her, and the nerdy guy actually explains to the floor manager, listen, it's not that we gave him this. We realized that his memory as it is right now is not real. It's not real. It's fucking fake. Someone erased his memory and put in a new personality. You're like, what the fuck? And the other guy comes over and he goes, hey, what does that mean? She just slaps the shit out of him. He's like, oh! She's like, you fucking idiot. What did you do? Why didn't you see it on the screen? She's like, I didn't know what it looks like. I've never seen something like that before. And the floor manager's like, holy fucking shit. Oh my God. All right. We can't deal with this. Out of sight, out of mind. Put his ass in a Johnny cab. All right. Get him a taxi and just erase all of his credentials. Erase all of his history. Make sure you wipe the system. And I'm like, cool. Because they want to have fucking another death on their hands, shit. Boss Arnold, whatever you do, don't send me to Looney Tunes when Bug Bunny scabs me. Schwarzenegger. Very much so, Luke the Boss. Think of the Benny. We haven't implanted it yet. Oh, and that's the big reveal. They say we haven't implanted it yet, but it's like, or did they? Or did they? And so next scene, we see Arnold. He's inside the Johnny Cab chat where it's being controlled by an animatronic Don Knotts, and it's fucking horrifying. Thank you so much. He slapped it because she was saying that the fake memories were implanted by the CIA. Ooh, thank you. I didn't catch the CIA thing. Think of the 5 biddies. But we see that this taxi is being controlled by an animatronic Don Knotts, and it's fucking horrifying. And eventually, Arnold is just like, I need to go home. Stop the car. And he's like, that'll be 18 credits, huh? Always take Johnny Cab. See you later. And he fucking whistles. It's horrifying. It's one of the most scariest things in the movie, chat. This Don Knotts animatronic that drives people around. Eventually, Arnold, he's stumbling back to the subway and shit. So you see more of the brutalism, architecture. But then we see, oh, good old Harry. He's like, Arnold, what are you doing? He's like, I'm fine. My head really hurts. I'm going home. He goes, oh, let me get you a beer. You went to that Recall place, didn't you, Arnold? And he goes, yeah, I did. How'd you know I went there? And he goes, you hear things. Come on, I'll get you a drink. I'll help you headache. He's like, no, I need to go home. And then he tries to get up the stairs, and these fucking 3 guys jump him. And they grab him. And he's like, get off me now. And Harry's like, it'll be easier if you just come with us and get that drink, Arnold. And he sees that Harry pulled a gun on him. It's like, no, Harry, you're his best friend. And it's like, he's not his best friend, Chad. He betrayed him. Thank you, Dobby's for the 10 bases. Arnold going to wake up with stones in his tummy. They're already in there. They're already implanted in there, baby. That's how it works. And so they start to drag him away, and Harry's like, all right, we got to make this fucking look good, all right? This is what we have to do. But then Arnold just fucking flips out, and I love how Paul Verhoeven choreographs his action, because it's well done, but it's also just like really bloody. And where like a normal karate chop to like the face or something, it's like pow, like that. It just means like half the person's face just like exploded. And so Arnold goes, no, get off of me. And boom, right in this guy's face, breaks his nose, eyeball pops out on the ground and shit. Arnold's just cracking you. And I love the sound design of this film, chat, the sound editing, sound mixing, plus the score. Jerry Goldsmith did the score, chat. Amazing composer, of course. Also the score to Alien, a lot of great stuff. But you just see here Arnold's big tree trunk legs just crushing people's bones and cartilage, chat. Never gonna be able to walk again unless you get like it's serious reconstructive surgery on your knees and your fibula, whatever else kind of bones you got inside your leg. I don't fucking know. But he's just beating the shit out of all these guys. You're just snapping necks, taking the gun. I love like how like brutally simple the gun really looks. It's like just like a big old fucking tube. It's like a little sci-fi, but not too sci-fi. It's like, oh, I can see it kind of transitioning to that point. And he's like plugging these guys from behind, all the blood coming out. And what's cool is it's all practical effects. And there's blue screens, of course, and stuff, and a lot of animatronics and puppetry. But I love that they use a shit ton of squibs. And so you just see these squibs erupting from these guys, and it holds up. 30 years later, chat, 31 years later, it still holds up to this day. Deadpool, thank you so much for the base. I'm very sure in the Total Recall universe, people's necks are made out of uncooked spaghetti. Yeah, I think so. They're just easy to fucking crack, and they're like linguine afterwards. Their whole body just flops on the ground. But he kills everyone, chat, and he sees Harry, he goes, screw you, Harry, and bah, just hits him in the face, just explodes, chat, and Harry is nowhere. Also shoots him, shoots Harry right in his fat face, and he goes down. Arnold's like, oh no, what did I do? I'm scared. And then he runs away like, like this, with his hands flopping in the air. Eventually, we cut back to Arnold and Sharon Stone's apartment. Sharon Stone, she's practicing some hollow tennis, getting those moves down of her hollow teacher and shit. You know, make sure she's getting them swains and serving and overhand and underhand, all that bullshit. Arnold comes in, he's like, she's like, what's wrong, Arnold? What's wrong? I'm scared. This scary things. Harry attacked me, and it was very bad. And she's like, it's okay, Arnold. Just take it easy. Take it easy. I'm sure whatever it was, it was fine. I heard you went to that recall place, okay? I'm sure this is what this is. It's just some after effects. It was just a dream. It was all fake. It was like, you call this a dream? And his hands are all covered in fucking blood and cartilage and viscera and hairy. And she's like, ugh, shit. And she's like, just go get yourself cleaned up, okay? I'm gonna call a doctor for you, okay? It'll be fine. And he's like, don't call anyone, but I'm gonna go clean my hands and my face. I'm very scared, and I'm sticky now. And he goes into the bathroom, chat, and she goes to the video phone, because the video phone, you can see the person and stuff, and he calls it, but she didn't call 911, chat. You know who she called? Michael Ironside, Sam Fisher himself. And he's like, what is it? And she's like, he knows. He's like, does he know? She's like, I don't think so, but he's more trouble now. I might need you here, okay? And he's like, no. Fucking take him out. Take him out. And she's like, all right, I'll take him out. And it's like, no, Sharon Stone, you fucking betrayed your husbando, but maybe it's not your really husbando. And Arnold comes out, and he's like, Sharon, the towels are gone. I need my wash dry on my hands. Sharon, but it's all dark. And then she hears, a mysterious figure pulls out a gun and starts shooting him. He's like, oh! And Arnold's doing like a shit ton of somersaults, chat, to get out of the way of the shots, and they're missing. And then eventually he pops up and he tackles the person into the table. He's like, stop shooting me. He's like, stop. The light's on. The lights come on. And who is it, chat? Who is he fucking strangling with that goddamn muscular arm of his, chat? Sharon. He's like, Sharon, what are you doing? And she goes, listen, it's not what it is. It is what it is. I see what you're doing here. You're trying to kill me. And she's like, look, okay, I'll fucking explain everything to you, okay? Just don't kill me. He's like, give me the gun. He takes the gun. He's like, tell me what you've done. She goes, okay, I'm not really your wife. This is a fucking job, okay? And he's like, your name's not really Dennis Quaid. He's like, I'm not Dennis Quaid. She's like, no. He's like, what's my real name? She's like, I don't fucking know. All right, it's just a job, okay? I don't know anything other than that. He's like, he's sad and shit, because like all of this implanted memories about his wife are untrue, and she sits right down next to him. She said, listen, I gotta tell you, really, really like you, though. This is my favorite mission yet, and I'm kind of hot and bothered right now. I'm really sweaty. You can see me in my gymnastics clothes, my bazungas, looking nice. Let's just fuck right here. Let's just do it. Who cares, man? Let's just fuck. And she starts undressing, and he's like, what are you doing? He's so confused. And then he looks, but then he realizes, shit, he looks on the monitor to the phone, which for whatever reason is showing what's happening. And he sees that Michael Ironside is on his way. He's like, no. And he fucking goes, blah, blah, and he hits her, Chad. Bah, backhands, you betray me, Sharon Stone. And he gets the fuck out of there, Chad. He's starting to run away. But all these guys come in. They're all chasing after Arnold at this point. Some of the guys are chasing after Arnold. Oh no, actually no, he escapes. So he fucking runs away. He's running away, chat. Meanwhile, Michael Ironstein and his goons, they come in there, and one of the guys tries to check on Sharon Stone. It's like, are you okay? Michael Ironstein's like, get your hands off her, I'll fucking kill you. And he's like, I'm sorry, Jesus. And he's like, are you okay? She's like, he ran away. He's like, don't worry, we'll be able to track him. And it's like, all right, cool. And right when everyone leaves, he's like, come here, Sharon. He gives like a really gross like kiss, and she's like too. And I didn't need to see that shit. I needed to see that, Sharon. But eventually they run. Arnold, he's being pursued by some of these jabronis at this point. Shane's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. They're right on his ass, chat. Michael Ironside, he has like a little nerdy buddy with him. We're gonna call him Glasses, chat. We're gonna call him Glasses. Got these big, thick rimmed glasses, chat. And they're tracking Arnold. And he's like, eventually he shoots out the subway window. And he's like, and he jumps into the subway, chat. But these motherfuckers are still pursuing him. Thank you, Luke, the boss of the biddy. Sharon, you are not Dennis Quaid. You're Randy Arnold. No. No. I mean, it's the aliens, so it kind of makes sense, right? It's all connected, chat. Maybe we're just holograms. Maybe we're just computer people inside of Randy Quaid's recall, if you will. But he gets in the subway, chat, and he puts some distance between himself and them. Meanwhile, Michael Ironside and Glasses, they call up, goddamn Ronnie Cox. Tell him the situation. Ronnie Cox is like, fucking get him. We need him, okay? It's necessary for the evil plan to go forward. And they're like, all right, fuck. But Ronnie Cox and Michael Ironside, they don't like each other, even though Michael Ironside works for him. And Michael Ironside's just like fucking with him. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. It's like, seem to be having a bad signal. He's just purposely like shutting it off. He's like, hey, no, Michael Ironside. And he's just like, all right, fucking track him. And they've got the thing to open this computer screen, Glass open this computer screen, chat, and they're tracking him. Meanwhile, Arnold, he's like in, Mexico City and shit, and he tracks into a really sleazy hotel. He goes up there, Chad's very, gray and it's all granite and shit, very uncomfortable looking. He looks outside, and then this fucking his video phone screen starts ringing. He's like, what is this? And he presses a fucking button, chat. Not Ronnie Cox. Yeah, it is. It's Ronnie Cox. Yeah, it's Ronnie Cox. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, Ronnie Cox. But he presses the video screen, and this guy shows up. This guy's like, hey, I don't have a lot to say to you right now, but you need to listen to me or you will die. And Arnold's like, I don't even know who you are. He's like, listen, first things first. Get a fucking towel, put it in the sink, make sure the water's cold, and wrap it around the head. You have a tracker on. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's inside your fucking brain, dude. Get the fuck. He's like, oh, no. And he goes to the kitchen, or goes to the, not kitchen, but he goes to the bathroom, takes the towel, wraps it up, and makes him a nice little babushka/turban, Chad. Nice little babushka turban. And he's like, okay, I did it. And he goes, okay, look out the window. And the guy's out the window. And I was like, hi. He's like, don't look at me. I'm putting this suitcase down here, okay? It's gonna have everything you fucking need, all right? And I was like, but wait a minute, I have so many questions. He's like, I gotta go, bye. And so this guy leaves. Arnold, he goes down there, and then we see this fucking old broad, this old lady just look at the suitcase and go, yoink, and she grabs it. She tries to move away. Arnold's like, hey, that's mine. I'm sorry, man, that's mine. She goes, no, it's not. It's mine. And he's like, I don't have time for this. And he pushes her, and he takes the case, and she goes, you fucking asshole. Which I love. And he fucking takes off. She takes off. But oh no, he's got to get in the fucking cab. He's got to get in the fucking cab soon, a Johnny Cab. And so, fucking Michael Ironside and his boys, they find him. They do find him, like, shit, there he is. And they're all shooting at him, and a ton of, oh, by the way, there's a really cool scene earlier when they're going through, I forgot to mention this. Arnold causes some collateral damage. But when he's in the subway, and they're going, it's great. I love how it's choreographed. Arnold's going up this escalator, and people are coming up from the bottom and below him. And these guys get to him first up above, and they just start shooting this crowd of people. Arnold just grabs the guy, just some random innocent poor schmuck, and uses his carcass, uses his meat body to block the bullets, who Arnold then throws at them. That guy is fucking dead. It's like, oh, it's kind of shitty. The body count is very high in this movie. Great scene. But Arnold, he jumps inside of one of those Johnny Cab show of a really terrifying fucking Don Knotts. And Don Knotts is like, where do you want to go? Arnold's like, shit. And he's like, I don't know where that is. I don't know where shit is. He's like, fuck you. And he grabs and he rips out animatronic Don Knotts and throws him in the back of the cab and takes over, chat, and immediately starts driving. And he bamboozles Michael Ironside and Glasses, chat, and he speeds off. And he goes to this construction site trying to just take cover. He just keeps going until he feels it's safe. He then stops the car. He gets out, and Don Knotts is like, that'll be 18 credits. And Arnold's like, fuck you. And Don Knotts is like, fuck me, fuck you. And he fucking flips and goes, whoa! And he comes alive and takes control of the car and immediately starts, it's fucking nuts. He immediately starts chasing Arnold. Arnold's like, oh my God. Running away from the car as this thing is following him down this alleyway. He jumps at the last minute, chat, as Don Knotts is like, whoa! hits this concrete wall and explodes and bursts into flames. And Don is like, fuck me, fuck you, until he burns alive. It's like, holy shit. It's nuts, chat. It's nuts. Whew, boy. Eventually, Arnold, he goes up some stairs, just, as far as those thick Austrian oak thighs can carry him. And he goes up to this little table, just covered in rats, by the way. Covered in just vermin. And he just Arnold just knocks all these rats on the car. It's like, animals were harmed in making this film. The rats and the goldfish. We'll talk about the goldfish in a bit. Just hits it. And he puts this giant suitcase there. Opens it up. It's a computer, all this other stuff. There's a gun. There's this weird device. You know what it is? It looks like a medical instrument. Puts it down on the table. There's a bunch of Snickers. He's like, I'm eating all the Snickers. And the screen pops on. And who is it, chat? It's Arnold. It's Quaid, but it's not Quaid. He goes, hello, sleepyhead. How are you? He's like, it's me. It's me talking to me. He's like, yeah, you must be really confused right now. But I need to tell you, okay? Your name is not Dennis Quaid, okay? It's Hauser. It's Hauser. He's like, my name is Hauser. He says, yes, okay. And they're tracking you right now. The bad guys are tracking you, and you need to get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. And he's like, why do you need to get my ass to Mars? And he's like, that's what the resistance is. You're a super agent for the resistance. But the first things first, you need to get the tracker inside of your brain. You have the medical instrument in front of you? He goes, yeah, I do. Now put that up there. Go jam it way up. And we get one of my favorite animatronic puppetry scenes in this entire movie. There's quite a few. There's some great ones, chat. You are not you. You're me. No shit. That's such a great line. But puts it right up there, chat. Puts it right up there. Oh! It goes, shoots up, and then this is where the highlight comes from, chat. It's this scene where Arnold is pulling this thing, going, and this thing's fucking huge. It's about this big. It's bigger than a quarter, chat. And he pulls it out of his brain, goes like in his nostrils, like all enlarged, goes, and goes, boop, and he pokes out, and it opens up his little tracker like a little bullet. He goes, oh no, and he puts it there, and the thing is like, now you got it out of your nose and shit, get your ass to Mars. He's like, okay, he gets all this money, he has all these fake IDs and stuff, like what he needs to get him. It looks like Monopoly money, it's all red, because it's Mars, get it? Like, Earth money is green, Mars money is red, it's funny. And so he takes all that. But then, who's fucking right on his ass, chat? Michael Ironside and Glasses and the rest of these Ronnie Cox henchmen. And he's like, oh no. And he sees the rats there, and he takes like the leftover Snickers and puts in like the Snickers or the milk. Maybe it was Milky Way. Actually, I didn't see any peanuts, so I think it was Milky Way. But he puts it in there, and the rats are like, and they start eating it. And he fucking gets a dodge. He takes off running. Michael Ironside and Glass, they burst in there, and they have the tracker. It's like, and there's like, oh, there he is, he's right there. And they start shooting. But then the rats who are fighting over the Snickers or the Milky Way, they move over to the left. And like, he's over there now. They start firing, and then they moves all the way over to the right. He's like, he's there. And they're like, what the fuck? We don't see him. Until eventually, they walk up to the rat, and Michael Ironside's like, fuck. Boom, and shoots the rat, chat, shoots the rat. And we cut to the screen. The computer screen of Hauser Arnold going, get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. It's funny, I say it over again. And then, chat, what happened? Arnold's getting his ass to Mars. We're leaving Earth for the rest of the movie. Oh, Clyde, good to see you. Hope you're doing very well. Current in the middle of my review for Total Recall or Recall. However you want to say it. But then, we're seeing these cool fucking, ships landing on all these miniatures, chat, a lot of blue screens, a lot of good stuff. Love the set design, just love it, so great. Everything's landing, and we then cut to this kind of like terminal, kind of like a airport, chat, but it's a space terminal, if you will, spaceship terminal. Everyone's getting off, everyone's giving them their IDs, and like, all right, you're clear, get your ass in there, you fucking poor. And then, chat, we see this very Rubenesque. I'll say Rubenesque lady just going, hello. She's got big old bosom, she got big old booty, big old bubble gut. And she's like, yes. And he's like, your credentials, man. And she's like, of course. She takes him out and shit. Looking at her. I feel sorry for this woman. We'll talk about in a second. But just, they added some extra makeup to her, some extra flabs of meat. Not like, like rolls, flabs, chat, flabs, I want to say. Just hanging off her like, blah. But who's behind this woman? Who's coming out and talking? Fucking Michael Ironside in glasses. And they pass by this big lady. Like, he must be somewhere on Mars. We'll get to him eventually. And the guy's like, how long you're going to be here for, ma'am? Oh, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And he goes, great. Do you have any vegetables or meat that you, like, in your suitcase? And she goes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And he goes, excuse me? She's like, 2 weeks, 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 2 weeks. And she's like, and everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck? And this guy's like, security, something's wrong with this one. Until she finally backs up, and Michael Ironside's looking at her. He's like, Quaid. And then we cut, and the big woman, the facade is undone, chat. And it's like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is literally wearing a fat suit. And I feel so sorry for this actress because, they had to hire someone that Arnold could conceivably fit inside of. It's great. And so it comes undone like in sections, like it's a suit and goes boop, 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 until we see Arnold's face, and it's like it's cool because it's an animatronic underneath an animatronic, but he takes it off and he's like in the woman's suit and still. And all these guys surround Arnold at this point. And it's like, oh, shit. And he's like, yeah, catch. And these guys catch the head of the fat lady. And she goes, 2 weeks, have a nice day. It explodes. And this guy's like, oh. He's got like little fucking stubs and shit. These guys are all covered in fat woman meat, chat, and their own meat, and Billy's meat, anyone's meat. It's bad. But this also blows out one of the windows, chat. It's like, let's not fucking have these exposed windows, which then can be, punctured and everyone gets sucked out. And so all these people start getting sucked out in the vacuum of space shit, just, and they're all hanging like, everyone's hanging on at this point. Michael Ironside glasses. It's like, shit. This is a dangerous situation at this point. But eventually, Arnold, they shut it all down. They shut it all down. But all these giant industrial doors shut. These blast doors start coming down, like all around the windows and the exits. And Arnold, he just fucking, he's doing a Tom Cruise chopping air run. He just slides that thick Arnold took his shit. He's got the extra padding because he's still wearing the woman's suit. He slides underneath the shed and the door shuts. And Michael Ironside's like, open up this door. And everyone's like, we can't open up the door because they're all connected to each other. We'll all get stuck there. He's like, I don't care. Open up the door. He's like, no. And he's like, fine. And so Arnold, he takes off. He runs away. Eventually, everyone's like trying to accost. Everyone's trying to like talk to him at this point. We have these like multiple taxi drivers who want to talk to him. We get this one guy named Vinny, or I forget what this one other guy's name is. Some sweaty looking guy. But we get Benny. He's like, hey man, I could show you around Mars right now. He's like, come on man, I got 5 kids to feed. I just want to talk to him, Chad. Vinny nor Benny. But he goes to this hotel. He wants to check in. He wants to get in there. And the guy's like, the guy's asked for ID. He presents this fake ID. Dark Side of the Web is in Dada's voice. Correction, Juicy. That's blown out. Whatever. So sucked out, blown out. You know what I mean. But Arnold's checking in this hotel. And he gives an ID. And apparently he's been there before under a different name, like Bruckheimer or something. I don't know. Some made up name. And also, we seem to have a package for you, sir. Or not a package. We have a box. We have a box where we keep items for people. Safe box. And he goes, oh, great. And the guy takes out this pad. He puts his thumb on it. He's like, sir, I'm going to need your thumbprint ID to get access to the box. He goes, oh, yes, of course, yes. And he puts his thumb on it. And the guy takes the box out. And he goes, here you go, sir. I'm going to just go make sure your room's all set. And he's like, very nice. And Arnold opens it. It looks empty, but he slides it. And this piece of paper falls down. It's a poster, chat, for a ladies' club. Or it's like, it's a strip joint. Really, it's a whorehouse. It's, a place where you can enjoy, some exotic lady shit. And emphasis on exotic. I mean, 3 bazungas, chat. He's like, this is nice. And he sees a number on it. It's Melina. Asked for Melina. And he goes, Melina, okay. And eventually he goes to this room. He gets all set up at this point, chat. He's all inside there, and he's just waiting and shit. But then he hears a big old knock on the door. He hears a knock on the door, and he's like, "Who's doing that?" And he opens up the fucking door, and it's this guy. It's the guy from the Recall commercials, Chad. He's like, "We can, you can create the dream vacation for you." The one with initial ad before he goes to his job, jackhammering. And he guy's like, "Listen, Arnold, I've come from outside the machine to talk to you, okay? You're not a secret." He's like, get in here now." And he goes, "Oh, listen." He's like, I know you must be very upset. I'm just here to tell you that what's happening, okay, is not anyone's fault, obviously, but you're engaged in a continual psychosis at this point, okay? What you're experiencing is not real." He's like, "What are you talking about? Everything's real. I'm an agent." He goes, No, Arnold, listen to me. Remember in the beginning, remember when you first went to Recall, you were talking to the floor manager and you wanted to go to Mars, but you also picked the premium package. You picked the Mars package, right? And you picked the super secret agent package, okay? That's what you're experiencing right now. It's our Blue Skies of Mars package, all right? So everything that you're experiencing it's not real. You're in too deep. You're in too deep at this point, and I'm just here to convince you, and I had this pill. He's like, "I'm not taking everything you have from me. I just kill you." He goes, "Listen, if you're not going to believe me, if you won't believe me, I'll bring in the one person you will believe." And he goes to the door, and another knock on the door. Arnold's like, "You stay there." He opens the door, and who is it, Chat? Sharon Stone. And she's like all dressed, all proper and shit, like in a business suit, business attire. And she's like, "Listen, Arnold, you gotta take it easy, okay? You gotta fucking..." Oh, actually, am I ahead of myself? No, I think I'm ahead of myself. Am I at the right point in the movie? Or, hold on. I might have skipped ahead a little bit. I want to make sure I'm here. You think it needs Melina at this point? Okay. All right. Oh, no. I'm too far ahead. I'm too far ahead, Chad. My mistake. Let me go. Let me back up. He went, yep. Let me back up. Boom. We're backed up, Chad. Okay, we're not in this hotel room. Skip the hotel room stuff. He gets the thing on the poster, and it's the red light district where he talks to Melina. That's where we are. We're rewinding, Chad. And so he goes out there, and Benny's like, "Hey, man, I got 5 kids to feed. You have to feed so many children. I'll go with you." And the other guy's like, "Hey, he was my customer." He's like, "No, he's not, motherfucker." And so they all get in his cab. And he drives Arnold to the red light district where it's just filled with muties and shit. And Arnold's like, "Holy fucking shit, there's a lot of goddamn muties in here. There's a lot of muties, a lot of gross things." He's like, "Yeah, man, this is how it is." And so Benny's just going through it, and he's asking, like, why are all these people all mutated and everything? And he's like, "It's because of the housing, man. Cohagen built such shitty structures that they're all exposed to radiation. But you do get psychic powers, even though you have a vagina for a face." And he goes, "That's kind of cool." And he passes by, like, this one guy who's, like, just, like, his eyes are out to here, and she looks like a hammerhead shark. He's like, "I can read your future for $5. He's like, "I'm good, thank you." I was like, "I need my past. If you could tell me about my past, that'd be even better." And then he passed by this one woman who's like, "I can read your palm." And eventually her little girl runs like, I know your birthday." And, he's like, "You do?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're whatever." And he goes, "How'd you know?" And he gives, like, obviously wrong, but he gives her that. And, that's when he asks him about the muties and shit. He's like, "Hey, man, I mean, if you want a good time, I could take you to a better place. And this place, this isn't great. I could show you some real nice ladies." He's like, "No, I want to go in here." And Benny's like, "All right, man, well, you let me know if you need anything. I'll be right outside." And so then Arnold, he goes inside, and it's just filled with all sorts of muties, chattel, people just drinking and boozing up and stuff. And, he goes up to this one guy, or the guy behind the counter. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to, not the waiter, but the bar guy. Help me out here, chat. Wow, I'm blanking on the name. The bar person who serves the drinks. The bar guy. Bartender. The bartender, you idiot. Thank you, Blackstone. The bartender. And so he goes up to him. And he's like, he has to see Melina. And he's like, she's busy right now. He's like, "Is she this busy?" And he presents a whole bunch of red Monopoly money. He's like, "I'll go ahead and check." But then there's this other lady sitting next to you. She's like, "Come here, sailor. I can go ahead and give you a hell of a time. You don't need Melina." And she presents herself, and she has 3 bosoms. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, very nice, but it's not my thing. She's like, whatever, loser. And she just walks away, struts away. Eventually, the bartender calls Melina over. He's like, hey, got this fucking jabroni here, wants to talk to you. And she turns around, and it's the girl, Chad. It's the girl that Arnold saw in his dream in the beginning of the movie, and the athletic, demure, but sleazy in the, before he went to the recall place, or when he was doing the recall, choosing the class 4 woman. And he's like, whoa. Deadbolt, thank you so much for the videos. The fabled titties? The fabled titties indeed. But she walks over. She's like, okay, let's go to my room. And so they go up to her room. And he's like, I have so many questions. Like, I have questions for you. And she's like, ow in my face. Slaps him, Chip. Slaps him across the face. She's like, oh, I can't help myself. And she just starts kissing him. He's like, wait. I don't know who you are. She was, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't know who you are? He's like, I don't know who I really am. I don't understand. He's like, I don't remember you. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, these people, they got a hold of me and they implanted memories and they erased my memory. I'm very confused. I don't know what's going on. She's like, you don't remember the resistance? You don't remember everything what we're fighting for? He's like, I don't. I'm very sorry. I just came here for answers. She's like, well, you can just get the hell out of here then. If you can't remember these, and she's like, I remember. It's like, no, you don't. Get out. And he's like, okay. And he leaves. No one would think about this. How dare he deny the 3-boob lady pleasure? I know. I'd be like, all right. I would have enjoyed it once. At least once. But he goes down the stairs. Chad, and he leaves. He's like, but she has her eye on Arnold. She's like, I fucking care for that asshole. Also see this one guy in the back who's got like a lumpy shirt going, keep an eye on him, Melina. We need him for the resistance. It's like, okay, cool. Eventually he goes back to the hotel. And then we cut to the part, he's in the hotel room, chat. Guy comes in. Whole conversation about this is not real, man. You're in a simulation, okay? It's not real. And then Sharon Stone comes in here, chat. And she's like, Arnold, listen, it's me, okay? It's me. This isn't real. They brought me inside the recall machine. Is it called recall? Okay. And I'm here to help you. And he's like, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if nothing's real. I don't know if you're real. I'm real. I'm not. And he's like, okay, it's fine. Okay. And then the guy's like, all right, listen, Arnold, you cannot, I understand you don't believe me. You don't believe your wife. At this point, you think, maybe, go ahead. Kill us both. Save the day. Stop the villains. Stop the terror. Stop the villains. Free Mars. Create blue skies on Mars, Arnold. All right. But you'll end up in a psycho ward, in a coma for the rest of your life if you don't believe me. Now take this red pill and wake up, or don't. Arnold's like, okay, I'm sorry, wife. I'm sorry, Sharon. I'm sorry, random guy from commercial. I'll take pill. And he takes it. And he's like, swallow it. He's like, okay. And he looks at the guy, chat, and he sees a bead of sweat come down his fucking face. And it's like, you can't sweat in a simulation. He goes, you lied to me. Bang! And he shoots the guy's face off, Chip. And Sharon's like, I guess we gotta do this the fucking hard way, huh? Thank you, it's not the same, there's no blue pill involved exactly, but I can see where the Wachowskis stole this from. It's from this movie. From the little blue pill, red pill scene. She's like, I'm gonna do this the hard way. And then we hear we hear super Kool-Aid man, some people bursting through walls, but through his hotel wall. And it's like, oh my God, it's all these jabronis. They all get on top of Arnold. They're like, yeah, we're ready this time. And they handcuff him and shit. They make sure to handcuff him. It's like, you're coming with us, mister. And they're leading him out. Deadpool, thank you. Takes the red pill, wakes up from the Matrix. Arnold is the one. That would be fucking amazing if Arnold was the one. It's like, whoa. Maybe he's in one of the tubes. Maybe he's one of the human batteries, chat. Huh? Thank you for the 5 biddies. But they're leading him outside the hallway, chat, and he's like, I'm sad. She's like, shut the fuck up. But eventually, they call the elevator, chat, and who's on the other side of the elevator, chat? Melina! And she's like, hello, boys! And she mows them all down, chat. She mows them all down, and it's Melina versus Sharon Stone, chat. Fight! And they just start kicking the shit out of each other, chat. They start stabbing, they start shooting, they're doing everything they can. Arnold, he's trying to, and eventually he bursts out of the handcuffs. right before Sharon Stone is about to like stab, she gets like a knife and she's about to stab Melina in the face. But Arnold's like, don't do it, don't hurt her, I love her and stuff. And she throws it up. She's like, Arnold, listen, okay, it's fine. I know you wouldn't hurt me, okay? I know you obviously wouldn't hurt me. She's reaching behind her back for like a gun, and right before she's about to pull it out, he goes boom and shoots her in the head. Sharon Stone meat face chunks everywhere, chat. Consider this a divorce. It's like, yay! And Sharon Stone has been defeated. Eventually, Melina's like, oh my God, Arnold, I love you. And he's like, I love you too, Melina. And they have cool Arnold Schwarzenegger, Melina face kisses. And she's like, we got to get going. We got to get going. So they start running. They run away. Meanwhile, Michael Ironside and his boys show up. They're right behind Melina. And they're like, oh, fuck, shit, a lot of dead people. But then Michael Ironside sees dead Sharon Stone. And that was his lover, Chad. That was his girlfriend, maybe wife. I'm going to say girlfriend. And he's like, I hate Arnold so much. And he's very mad at this point. And so he goes after Arnold. And it's like, good boy. And so Melina, they're running through the fucking hotel. They get out there, chatting. Who's there to save him? Benny, I got 5 kids to feed. Benny, we need your cab. Let's go. He's like, okay, man, I got you. And so they all go inside his cab, chat. But meanwhile, Michael Ironside and his fucking boys, they start chasing after him. And Benny, he's going through all these fucking tunnels and shit. People are getting plowed over and run over and just eviscerated and everything. We're seeing these giant, drill cars because they're trying to create more tunnels and more housing throughout Marsha. And all Benny's like, whoa, man, that's some major foreshadowing. And he's trying to get away from the giant drill cars. Everyone's really good at shooting each other's pistols out of their hands. Because Arnold, he grabs a gun, Melina grabs a gun, and they go boom, boom, boom. They shoot like Michael Ironside's fucking gun out of his hand at this point. And he's like, and he grabs like a giant fucking shotgun, goes just, laying into the car. Eventually, they lose them for now, but they're right behind him. Benny, Melina and Arnold, they get out of the fucking car. They get out of the car and they run into the red light district club they were in before. And this one guy's like, all right, get your ass over here. This one guy, like an army jack, who's kind of like a little lumpy. Kind of looks like he's got like a beer belly or something, or, kind of like a dad bod, like a lumpy dad bod. It's like, whatever. He's like, come on. And they take off this panel off the wall. And they all fucking run inside. They all run inside there. And they all, fix it up and everything. And then Michael Ironside and Glasses, they all show up there and are like, where are they? Where are they? And the 3 boob lady is like, who? And he's like, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, sure, I can help you to these. He's like, yeah, fuck. She's like, you couldn't handle me anyway. And she walks away and goes, you know what, fuck you. And he shoots her. He shoots her in the back. Everyone's like, oh, no, you didn't. And then they had the little dwarf woman. And the little dwarf, Mutie, she grabs a knife and she's like, nee! And it's interesting because she just stabs Glasses right in his scrotum crotch area. She's like, oh! And they cut this from the original film. But what she does is she takes the knife and she just cuts all the way up, Chad, to his heart. And so she basically like guts him. It's like, oh man. It's like, Jesus, that's bad. Quote, whoever it is spelled is not there yet. He's there now. Oh, Lord. And also, there's a lot of other parts of the fighting scene. Like, Glasses is very careful not to shoot the glass at this point because, he doesn't want to get sucked out of the fucking, little community and shit. Mike Arndt is like, I don't give a fuck anymore. He's like, no, we can't shoot the glass or we're going to die. And he's like, all right, whatever. So they all eventually go inside. They go inside, like, there's just fucking mayhem at this point. Everyone's getting shot. Michael Ironside, let's get the fuck out of here. A lot of people are dying and shit. They shoot Dean Norris. Oh, yeah, Dean Norris is there. So Dean Norris from Breaking Bad, his name is Tony. He has a vagina face. And he's there. He gets shot in the shoulder and stuff. Funny enough, he worked on another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie right the next year, chat. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. He was the head of the SWAT team that goes inside the boss where they see Miles Dyson going... He sees him and they blow up. Same guy, Chad, same guy. But Michael Ironside, he goes and reports to, what's his name? Cohagen, Ronnie Cox. And Ronnie Cox is like, all right, yeah, fuck them pores. Fuck the muties. Turn off the air, turn off the oxygen. We're just going to kill them all until Quado and Arnold give themselves up. And they're like, all right. So they turn all the air off. Everyone's like, oh, the air. We need the air. We're on borrowed time at this point. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Benny and what's his name? Yeah, Benny, Arnold, Melina, and George, who is like this other person works for the Resistance. You're leading him down these secret tunnels, chat, and it's these catacombs, and it's all these like dead bodies there, like in the walls. Look, it's like that underground French catacombs. It's like in Paris and stuff. And Benny's like, I think my grandpa's buried here. Hey, grandpa! It's like not his grandpa though. Eventually, they come to this secret fucking wall, and they open it up, and they're like, whoa! And it's the Resistance, chat. There's like dozens of people there, hundreds of people there, all this technology and weapons and stuff, and they're all fucking sitting down. And Melina, she starts just hugging people she knows, and they're like, okay, Benny, you wait here, Benny. I gotta go talk to Arnold, right? He's like, no problem, man. This is a little too much. Also, Benny reveals that he's a fucker. He's like, what about this guy? We don't trust him. But he's like, no, man, I'm one of you guys. And he takes off this prosthetic hand, and he has this gross fucking mutie hand, Chad. It's like, he's like a mutie hand. He's like, I'm one of you. And I'm like, well, since you're a mutie, obviously you have the same ideals of all of us muties. All right, you can come. And he's like, yeah. And he has like a disgusting hand. He puts his fake hand back on. Eventually, though, good old George and Arnold, they go into the back room, and like they have a little conversation. They're having a little conversation. Again, he's like, George's like, I don't know if, because Arnold's like, I need to talk to Quado. I need to talk to him now. And he's like, I don't know if he'll get here soon. But I want to know about you, man. Okay. He's like, I love Melina. I have memories, but I don't know if they're mine. I want to help the muties. They seem nice. I gave a little girl money. I want to help. And he's like, all right, man, Quado will be here in a bit. He's like, what's going on? And that chat we see is like, I need to undress. And George, like, he like turns his back to Arnold. Arnold's like, what's going on? And we see George unbutton his shirt, and he turns around, his head's all derpy and shit. But we see there's a fucking baby man coming out of his tummy. And he's like, Quack! He's like, I was like, ah. It's like, ah, yes. Now you know why I don't reveal myself often. He's like, I know. I understand that now. Stomach baby. It's a stomach baby. And he's like, give me your hands, Quaid. And I was like, ugh. Because all the muties have psychic powers, and Quado has the most powerful psychic powers at this point in the movie. And so Arnold, he takes his little fucking gross stomach baby hands, and he's like, and they're transported. And we're in this giant pyramid, chat. This giant pyramid, which is the mountain, which we saw earlier in the film. This giant fucking mountain. It's this huge pyramid thing. And it's like, it's actually like a nuclear reactor kind of. And it has these giant upside down pylon skyscrapers things. And we see Michael Ironside, and we see, like Arnold, and we see fucking Ronnie Cox, and they're like, if we turn these on, then the planet will either destroy itself or all the oxygen will be released, and we need all the unobtainium. They're mining for some fake element called tabanium or unobtainium. I know it's not unobtainium, but it's like tabanium, and it's like we need this. I don't want to release the oxygen on Mars. I don't want no blue skies on Mars. So fuck it, we're gonna blow it up sometime. And Arnold's like, they get out of it, but the whole base is shaking at this point. So we also see at one point in the giant pyramid, because there was aliens there, we see this hand, this compression where it's in the shape of a Martian hand that looks like this shit. And you put your hand in there, that activates the facility and releases all the oxygen on Mars. And I was like, whoa, that's what we could do. And then we won't have to be fight over oxygen like, fucking evil President Scroob Ronnie Cox. But then they come out of the vision, both Quaid and Quado, and the whole room is shaking. It's like, whoa, what's going on? And so Quado's like, we must go. We must see what my people are fighting against. And they out of the room, and all these fucking, everything's like, whoa, what the hell? And all these giant drill machines, the drill cars, they gun bursting in, and then all the evil Ronnie Cox guys are like, fuck you, mutie, and they all start killing all the people. It's like, Jesus Christ. But at this point, Quado, everyone's like looking, and they see, like, Benny sees Quado inside of George's shirt. He's like trying to hide Quado because he comes out of it too. Because Quado and George can't be like operating at the same time. It has to be one or the other one. They both can't be, chat. But George is in control. He covers Quado. And Benny sees this, he's like, whoa, dude. He's like, listen, come with us. And so Benny, Melina, Quado, and Arnold, they run out and they put on these suits because they're going to go outside of the surface of Mars at this point. So they're putting on these fucking suits. They close this big door behind them. And like Benny, he's just standing by the door. And Arnold's like, Benny, come on, put on your suit. And Benny takes a fucking machine gun, goes, and he shoots Quado. And Arnold's like, Benny, what are you doing? He's like, oh man, I'm sorry. I had to do it. He's like, why? You're a mutie. You're a mutie, Benny. You're a mutie like all other people. Why would you do this? He's like, come on, man. I got 4 kids to feed. What happened to the 5th one, Benny? He's like, you got me, man. I ain't even married. I don't got no kids. Benny, he betrayed us all, chat. He betrayed us all. And then who fucking comes in there? And then we see Quado. He's like, and Arnold goes, Gary's dead at this point. George is dead. Too bad for George. But he lifts up the shirt, and we see Quado going, start the reactor. Quaid. And then Michael Armstrong comes in, goes, boom, and blows little Quado away, chat. Arnold's like, damn you. And they knock him and Melina out. It's like, no. Eventually, they're all taken to Ronnie Cox's office, chat, Cohagen's office, where they have the body of George/Quado, and he lifts him up and he sees him and says, oh, I can tell why he doesn't show himself off quite often. He covers him up. Get that disgusting mutie out of here. Blah. And he's like, you're a monster, Cohagen. He's like a monster. You weren't calling me that, a number of months ago. He's like, what are you talking about? You used to call me friend. He's like, no, I wouldn't. You're an asshole. You're a fucking asshole. He's like, oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I know you wouldn't believe me. I know you wouldn't even believe Michael Ironside. Probably anyone in this room. But I know who you would believe. Yourself. And he goes to the fucking video screen. He turns it on. And who's there talking to Arnold? Arnold! He's like, hi, Quaid. It's me, Hauser. But we're also Quaid. And we're both Hauser. It's funny, huh? Listen. I'm a bad guy. And Quaid's like, no. And I was just like, yeah, Cohagen, come here, buddy. And Cohagen's like, hey, man. Hey, Arnold. He's like, we're friends. Yeah, we work with each other. We operate this whole thing. Yeah, so, yeah, we're here to kill the muties. And probably by this point, all the muties are dead. It's great, yeah. And we know that Quaid is probably dead too, so it's great, yeah. So I'm gonna go to my mansion with my Mercedes and all the hot ladies, and this will be great. All right, go ahead and party, right? Party when we finish this. Yeah, you goddamn right. I was like, all right, bye, Quaid, or I guess I'll see you in my dreams. And he's like, oh, and Quaid's like, no. He's like, wow, I'm such an asshole. And he goes, yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you to some recall machines, and we're going to make sure that we're going to restore Hauser's memories. And I was like, no. It's like, it's really like, whoa, it's a big fucking cool revelation, chat. Hi, sir, baby, welcome to stream. And so then they all go to the machines. They go to the machines, chat, where we have the 2 recalls. And so they put Arnold into one, they put Melina into another. And at this point, Cohagen's like, all right, listen, we're gonna have a fucking party. We're gonna have a fucking party after this. It's gonna be fucking banging, okay, at both our Mars mansions. It's gonna be great. Hauser's gonna be back in you, don't worry. And here's the thing, you see that fucking bitch, Melina? She can be yours, man. I'll just erase her memories, and I'll make her docile. I'll have her baking shit for you in the kitchen. She'll do anything you want. Just like all women should be. It's like, damn, sexist asshole, chat. It's like, you can do whatever you want with her, man. And long as she's baking and sucking your dick, am I right? It's like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Ronnie Cox, asshole. And so he's like, all right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm going to leave and assume that everything is going to go according to plan. And so he leaves. And Michael Ironside, he walks up to one of the nerdy doctors and like, so once you do this whole thing, he won't remember anything? He goes, yeah. And he goes, oh, great. Bah! And he punches Arnold right in the fucking mouth. And he goes, that's for Sharon Stone. Bah! And that's for me, Richter. See you at the party later. And he leaves, chat. But Arnold, at this point, he's like, fuck this bullshit. I'm not Hauser. I love Melina, and I love the muties, and I've got my astumas, and I'm going to free everyone with all the oxygen. Ah! And he literally just breaks out of his bond, and this is so cool. He breaks out of his bonds, and like the armrest is like still connected to his forearm, and this big piece of fucking metal still there, and he just starts stabbing the doctors in the face with the metal portion. Like goes, oh, this blood comes out of his neck. He then gets up. He's like, ah, and he stabs this one piece of metal, like he rips them all off. And he takes the piece and goes right through this guy's face. It goes like up here, out his mouth, and back into his eyeball, and then out his head, and he falls down dead. It's like, jeez, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. Eventually, he goes to Melina's machine, shuts it down, and shit. He goes, are you okay? And she's like, how about this for an answer? And they all start kissing, and it's like, this is so hot, but we need to leave now. And they get going. Eventually, Michael Ironside at this point is, he goes to Ronnie Cox. He goes to Cohagen's like, all right, listen, he escaped again with Melina. We got to take care of him. And Cohagen's like, he's sad because he really likes his friend Hauser. That's his buddy. And he doesn't want to do it. Despite everything, all the trouble this version have caused him, he's like, I don't want to kill my friend. I want to kill my best friend. But he's like, okay. Kill him. And it's like, but you can see, like, it's his one emotional moment in the movie. It's like, I don't want to kill my friend. But he's like, all right. And Michael Ironside like, about goddamn time. And then Cohagen, he takes it out on his goldfish chat where he feeds, like, these little goldfish throughout the movie. And he kicks over his fish tank. And the goldfish are like, and it's also meant to, and it's a great transition because we see the goldfish gasping for air, and we cut to the mutie, Sector 37 or whatever, and they're like, they're gasping for air too, Chad. They're suffocated. They don't have enough oxygen and enough O2. Their only thing they're breathing in, Chad, is their own farts. That's all they got left, Chad. It's like, you don't have a fart to spare? I need it. I need that methane, baby. But that's all they're breathing in at this point. Meanwhile, Arnold and Melina are like, okay, we got to get to the fucking reactor. We got to get the pyramid, so let's fucking go. Eventually, they go down this long pathway. Because Arnold remembers all this. He's like, all my memories reactivated where Quado showed me. I know exactly where I need to go. And so he's going, shit. He's passing by all these things like, there should be a wall here. Where is it? And then boom, these fucking lights come on one of the giant drill cars. And it's like, hey, man, hey, baby, I'm coming for you, Benny. It's Benny, shit. He's coming after them. And it's like, I don't have any fucking kids to feed, but I'm going to kill you. And Arnold's like, no. And like Melina, she's shooting at him. Arnold's shooting at him and stuff. And he gets this like big giant drill thingy. And he's like, ow! And the drills are like cutting up Melina and Arnold's arms. He's like, oh shit! And he takes his little drill thing and puts it into like these nozzles and these tubes and cuts it off like the I guess the ignition or something, the gasoline or the oil, and it all shuts down. It starts blowing up. And it's like, screw you, Quay! I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker! And he's like, Benny, screw you! And he puts the fucking drill inside of the cockpit, and he's like, oh! And Benny is killed, Chad. He's a goddamn mutie traitor, Chad, and he got what he fucking deserved. All right, fake 5 kids, my ass. Oh, terrible. So after literally screwing Benny to death, Chad, they then they find the secret tunnel. And they climb up there, and they're inside the great giant pyramid. It's basically like the size of a city. These giant pylons, which are city scraper size, and they see below them all this giant ice. They're sitting on a massive iceberg, chat. And once the pylons hit it, it releases all the oxygen, which I'm like, I don't think this is accurate, but it's science, scientifically. But Arnold's like, don't pay attention. It's fine. It's fun. And it's like, you're right, Arnold. It is fun. And so they get going, they get moving. Also, I forgot to mention, Arnold has a little device. He has a little 3D projection device that makes a copy of himself. He got that while from the suitcase early in the movie when he was talking to himself, like, get your astumas, I give you a decoy bracelet. And he's like, thank you, me. He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And so he has a decoy bracelet. And so him and Melina, they're going towards this. He's like, stay here, okay, watch my back, and I'll tell you to come, all right? And she's like, make sure no one's following us, too. And she's like, okay, cool. Because she's common, chat. She's like, Melina's no damsel in fucking distress. She saved his ass. I really like in this movie, like Melina, big shout out to Rachel, to Cotton, chat, because they both save each other constantly throughout the film. Like, she saves him, he saves her, she saves him again, back and forth. Like, she's no damsel. And I really want to give it out. Can we get like a fucking Mr. Evan Yeh, Mr. Evan Hype to Melina, chat? And she's badass, she's sexy, she's smart, she's great. She's a total package, chat. Cheers and salute to her. Indeed. Oh yeah, I talk about Mr. Yasmin now. I'm putting on his nose. And so, he goes in there, but oh no, it's a fucking trap check, because Michael Ironside is there with all his fucking goons. And I'm like, oh, there's fucking Arnold, here we go. And they all step out and they go, ah! They all start shooting. Arnold's like, and Arnold's getting shot to shit. And it's like, oh no, oh Jesus. And then he's crouching, and we're like, wait a minute. And he stands up, he's like, I fooled you. And the real Arnold comes out of nowhere, and starts shooting on them, because it was the decoy. And they're like, fuck. Michael Ironside's like, shit. He tries to get all the way of all the bullets. And Melina comes in, she's like, spraying and praying, baby, taking all these soldiers. But then he's using the decoy where, he has it on his wrist and, projecting himself. Oh, and Melina's projecting herself too, because he, throws it over her and she does, and she takes out a whole bunch of guys. But then these other guys corner Arnold, like these 3 guys, and he starts going, ha, you thought I was the real Quaid. I was. Then he just shoots them all, because he's like, oh, it's the decoy again. But it wasn't, chat. It was the real Arnold Schwarzenegger, the real Dennis Quaid. Doug Quaid, chat. So, at this point, I'm like, cool. So we got to go up the elevator. But oh no, Michael Ironside. He comes over and tries to hit Melina, and she's like, whoa, she dodges. And then Arnold's like, and he goes to the elevator. And then Michael Ironside, they start tussling. They start beating the shit out of each other. It's just raising up into the sky, chat, near the skyscraper pylons at this point. And they're going, boom, boom. And it's like, Jesus. Michael Ironside never stood a chance, because eventually Arnold just throws him over the edge, but he's still holding on to Arnold's wrist like this, and he's like, oh, if I'm going, you're coming with me. And Arnold looks up and he goes, I don't think so. And he pulls Michael Ironside forward and holds down his arms. He's like, no! Until the floor and the elevator make contact, chat, and crushes and squishes his arms off his body until he's like, and just like a little stubs, he falls down. Just makes a nice Michael Ironside shaped puddle. And he's like, and Arnold, one of my favorite lines in the movie, Arnold throws his arm off the side. He's like, see you at the party, Richter. He disarmed him, indeed. At this point, Arnold sees the giant pylons. Elevator goes back down at this point. And he's walking over. And we see, oh, it's fucking, what's his name? It's goddamn Ronnie Cox. He's like, no, you can't release the oxygen at this point. You can't do it, Quaid. He's like, why? Then all the people can breathe on Mars. He's like, yes, but then I won't be able to make more money. I need money. I'm a corporate 1980s-esque villain in the 1990 film, okay? I need my money. And he's like, no. And then Melina shows up, and it's like, the bitch. And they start shooting at each other. But at this point, it's like, fuck it. Someone hits, what's his name? Ronnie Cox, and he shoots and opens up a hole inside this, smokestack area, and everyone starts getting sucked out. And it's like, to the surface of Mars. Everyone's holding on for dear life as all this shit's getting sucked out. And they're right at the place where they have the impression for the alien hand. And Arnold's crawling towards it. And he's like, Ronnie Cox is like, no, they need to be all poor and shit. And we don't know if that'll actually, either save the planet or destroy it. He's like, screw you, Clegg. And he hits him. He backhands. He's like, no. And he gets sucked out. And then we get one of the most violent deaths I've ever seen in a movie in the 90s, chat, where he's imploding and he's like, there's tons sticking out, his eyes are bulging, and his face is getting all just engorged. He's about to pop like a pimple. It's like, holy shit, chat. And eventually, Arnold, he's crawling towards it, and Melina's by his side, I can't hang on anymore. And then Arnold, he goes to the impression, and he puts his hand inside of it like this, Chad, boom, and it activates the pylons, and they all start coming down, but they can't hang on anymore, Chad. And he's like, oh, and Melina follows him like, no, they all get sucked out, and then they get sucked out, and they go, and they start imploding, having their eyeballs and all that shit. But eventually, Chad, the pylons, they hit the ice. They hit the ice, the skyscraper-sized pylons hit the giant fucking iceberg, releasing all the oxygen. Chad goes, pew, 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 and it goes out of the pyramid and stuff. And it's so strong, shit, it blows out all the windows on Mars. People's like, no, we're all getting sucked out. They don't get sucked out, chat. They're fine. And we go to the Muti district. It's like Section 37, whatever the fuck it's called. And all of them are like, oh, we can breathe. We can breathe. We don't have to suck each other's farts out of our butts. We did it. And we all walk outside, and it's blue skies, chat. Blue skies on Mars. And eventually, at this point, fucking, Cohagen, he exploded. He's dead. Too late for him. But then Arnold and Melina, they're like, oh, they stand up, and they're looking, and they're like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it starts raining in the distance, chat, because now life is going to come back to Mars. Like the 500,000 years ago, there was life on Mars, but now it shall return again. Return again, chat, thanks to the Mutis and Arnold and Melina. And they're all, staying out there, and she's like, Arnold says it's almost like it's a dream. And she's like, it better not be. And if you wake up, I better be on the other side. He's like, yeah, I'll convince you it's no dream. And he kisses her, chat. And that, my friends, that is 1990s. The Paul Verhoeven directed, Arnold Schwarzenegger starring 1990 sci-fi action dystopian classic, chat. Total Recall, or Recall. You better kiss me before you wake up. That's the line. That's the line. That's the line, chat. Yeah, it's almost like it's a dream. And you better kiss me before you wake up. That's it. That's it. Now, people theorize that this was actually just the memory he was living, or the recall experience, because it was called Blue Skies on Mars. And it's like, was that blue skies? If it was blue skies, that's how it ends. And it fades out to white, chat. Was it all a dream? Is that what it all was? Was that the experiments he bought for 899 credits? It's like they didn't put the chip in, but maybe that was a part of the experience, chat. The super agent experience. Maybe. Who knows, chat? Clap, clap, clap. Well done. Thank you, No Name Woman. Thank you. Michael Arndt said great action film actor. Oh, yeah. He's a great actor. Absolutely. Total Recall. The movie that made Elon Musk who he is. I think it is. Yeah. Cohagen. Very much the Ronnie Cox character. To recall the movie. I think it was a dream. It might have been. It might have been all a dream. Now, I think Paul Verhoeven would be like, oh, yeah, it's a dream. I like the idea that it was all real. But at the same time, knowing Paul Verhoeven, it's like, yeah, it might have been a dream. Again, it can be either or, chat. You can either, no, it actually happened, or it was all part of that experience, that package. To each their own. But in any event, it makes a goddamn great movie, chat. One of my favorite 90s action films out there. One of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. One of my favorite Paul Verhoeven films. It's a goddamn classic. So well done. The performances are fun. They're over the top. You have some incredible lines by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's so charismatic in this movie. The practical effects are great. The special effects are good. Like, there's some dated stuff with the blue screens. I mean, obviously, it's like, oh, yeah, there's some blue screen effects. They're a little dated. But other than that, it's a great experience. It's on Netflix right now. Highly recommend watching or even owning on Blu-ray. But yeah, for myself, chat, I'd have to give this a high full price. It's a high full price movie, chat. Highly recommend watching it. Indeed. Black Mr. Herman. Well done. It's my favorite review. Solid. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I confused some details earlier, but I rewound it, and we got it. We got it down. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Oh, I didn't need Mr. Yasmin. Yeah, we talked about Dino De Laurentiis originally. Dino De Laurentiis was attached to it, and eventually David Cronenberg was attached to it, and then eventually went with Arnold and Verhoeven. And Arnold, like, there's a reason why this movie was probably made, because he was, thankfully, she's a bankable star at this point in his career. Like, okay, we can relight it. That's why it worked. It's cool. Narratively speaking, Just a Dream, like, how come it's way too on the nose for me? A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I may go either way. Oh, the remake sucks. No, Prince, I'll tell you right now. Good to see you, by the way. The remake is awful. It is so boring. It's closer to the original short story, but it's still bad. It's a bad movie. It's so dull. Nothing happens. And the color, like, everything's gray and blue in that movie. Well, this color palette's like over the place. So everything colors. Yeah. No. Axel, great review. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was it, reality or fantasy, one of the enduring traits. And it's what, yes, exactly. That's what I said before. As I mentioned before in the beginning, it is one of those things about the film that I think keeps it alive. People debate it. And I think that's what's so cool. But it's 31 years later. People still have, like, no, it's this way. Or I love that. I love that about this movie. So good. Baby GTG, give it a low full price. No One is a classic movie as far as I'm concerned. Agreed. I'm in the real camp too, but people that think it's a dream, Recall, man, more power to you. I totally get it. RoboCop, Total Recall, Starship Troopers, even oh man, I love Paul Verhoeven. Yeah, I like Starship Troopers a lot. It's probably my third favorite Paul Verhoeven movie. I give it like a matinee. Very entertaining matinee. Do you know Michael Irons's sister got cancer during the making of them? Oh no, with fitness events help her out and they became lifelong. Whoa, I had no idea. Well, that's really sweet. That's nice. Oh wow. Tommy Smug, Total Recall remake is some bullshit. Yes, agreed. The remake is definitely some bullshit. Pointless remake in every way. Ever seen Commando, Chris? Oh, I've reviewed. Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've reviewed it. Check out my YouTube channel for my Commando review. Yes. Remember when I said I'd kill you last? Yeah. I lied. Yeah. Hell yeah, I reviewed that. That's a beautiful review, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, Austin. Yes. Also, can we talk about the amazing commentary for this movie? So. This movie, chat, I talked about this, funny enough, on my own commentary for Total Recall, which you can check out right now if you're a $5 subscriber. Video version will be posted later this evening or tomorrow morning. But the commentary for this movie is legendary because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Paul Verhoeven. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger just saying things he's seeing on screen or saying things that are about to happen. This is the movie is when I woke up, and then Sharon Stone, she's right beside me, she's my wife, and then they're going to talk about what I experienced and how my eyes came out, and it's like, this is great. It's like, that's all he does. And Paul Verhoeven goes, yes, throughout the entire thing. It's brilliant. I'm gonna see if I can find it. We're gonna watch it in a second. I think that'd be great. Woo! Bach, Paul Verhoeven was a badass director in the 80s and 90s. He was. Agreed. RoboCop's my absolute favorite, which I've also done a review for. So you can check that out on my YouTube channel, Class in the Glass. So it went on to win the Oscar Visual Effects, which it deserved in 1990. Baby GT, I had fun time with the remake. The action was awesome. Fair enough. Deadpool. Also, they don't go to Mars and remake. That's true. They do not. They just remain on Earth. This dystopian Earth. What's the fan of Showgirls? Yeah, it's a funny bad movie. I'll give it that. The remake was a low rental for me. Some good ideas tried to be like the novel. Then the second half wanted to be like the 1990 film. I mean, they had the three boob lady and stuff, but that was just like, it was window dressing. That's what it was. Curious, I think about this. I can't remember anything about the remake other than the Tetris City. Yep, the elevator that passes through the core of the Earth. Oh yeah, that's right. And it explodes or something. Yeah. No one. Yes, agreed. Dobby's free. No one was asking for a Total Recall remake. No one was asking for a RoboCop remake. Yeah, remakes of Paul Verhoeven movies have not done very well. When we get in that Starship Troopers remake, chat. Remake's not a movie, it's just a memory that's in play in everyone. I like it. I like it. One of only two Oscar-winning Schwarzenegger movies, Total Recall and T2. And T2 swept in like the 91. All those technical awards, which it deserved. I think I like Total Recall over RoboCop. No, much respect to you. I get it. I totally get it. No Martian remake at all. They're on Earth. Do you react to the trailer for Duck Season? I have not. The remake of RoboCop actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I just didn't care. I think they pulled the teeth out. It was just all gums. It didn't have that. It didn't have that bite. You know, a PG-13 RoboCop. Not for me. Not for me. I like Basic Instinct. Black Pig's probably bald. I've never seen that. Best movie, a Dutch woman who goes undercover working the Nazis while providing information to the resistance, starring Melisandre from Game of Thrones. Whoa, I never seen that before. That sounds cool. Nice. Yeah, let me find that commentary. But yeah, that is my review for Total Recall, or Recall, however you want to say it, chat. It's an excellent film. Highly recommend checking it out if you've not seen it.